It is Dave Lawrence, and we're here at Kokua For Japan. It's a very special day because a lot of artists from throughout the islands have come together to do what they can for Japan, and I'm sitting with a guy who really doesn't need any introduction, Willie Nelson, from Maui's own Willie Nelson. Aloha and mahalo for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Glad to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thanks for taking some time. As I've been asking a lot of folks today, sort of getting a perspective on the event, when it happened, where were you when the tsunami happened?
I was touring, and I forget exactly where I was, traveling on the bus, and it was a horrible thing to experience or see, trying to imagine what all those folks were going through.
And, of course, unlike the mainland, although they got some damage on the West Coast, we were able to sort of experience it to some degree here in the islands. Of course, nothing like the devastation that's occurred in Japan. Were you personally affected at all in the islands, or does anybody you know have any property damage or anything like that?
Nothing serious. We have a home on the water, and the waves got, pretty good size, but, not anything like it could have been.
How much experience do you have with Japan itself?
I've toured there. I love the people there. They're big country music fans. And I remember one time we played Tokyo, and there was a whole lot of people there, and there was a big sign out in the middle of the audience. They were holding it up. It said, Tokyo, Texas. So I knew we were home.
And felt a connection. What are some of when you think of the different kinds of audiences, because you've been all over the world and you get a lot of different reaction from different cultures, and as I've been talking about with some of the guests, the reaction of the Japanese people in the face of this tragedy has been something of an example for us all. From your own experiences in Japan, does anything come to mind about the respect or the demeanor of folks?
Well, you have to admire their courage and their ability to remain calm, and they seem to have that universal calmness that they've experienced so many tragedies in their time, in their life in Japan, that they seem to have reached a point where they just kind of roll with it.
I guess that is, and it's like, a confluence of tough things that they're facing, sort of, too.
Yeah, and they realize for some reason they're going through a lot of horrible things, and they just resolve themselves to, okay, this is the way it is, and we'll face it.
So you see some lessons in their perseverance and maybe patience.
I see a lot of lessons, a lot of things to be learned from the Japanese people over these terrible events that have come about in the last few weeks. And they get one thing going, another thing going, and another thing going. And the nuclear thing happened, and so it's just one horrible thing after another.
Like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah. It's you got to feel for them.
And of the times that you've been there, is there an enduring memory that just sticks out, aside from the one that you shared, of just something that pops in your head of your time that you spent there in Japan?
I've noticed that your food looks at you.
You eat any of those eels, the live eels? They do them right at the table.
All those things, yeah, and it's exciting.
Unagi at the table, that's a good one. And finally, sort of, how far back do you go with these cats that you're going to be playing here with today? Before I sort of try to include some other cats in this interview, we got Pat and Michael and Mick, and if you can, just kind of share a little bit of how you've come to get to know them over the years.
Well, we've had, the privilege of playing music together over the years and got to know each other, and through, Michael and the Doobie Brothers, and we played together a lot, and Mick and I become good friends, and we've played in a couple of benefits together around the country, played one the other day in Maui, and we've got this little band together with Pat and Hutch and I, we're just having a lot of fun.
You weren't there over New Year's when they had James Hetfield from Metallica and Alice Cooper and all those guys coming together.
I missed that.
Well, you do enough. Well, just from me to you, I appreciate seeing you here. I think it's a great thing that you've taken time to come over and join this cavalcade of stars and doing the right thing. It's appreciated by the rest of the people in the state, I'm sure, who don't get the chance to personally tell you.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
You're the man, Willie.